Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, those leaks from the Pentagon create problems for them, but inform us. They claim that, they're not legit, and those leaks actually are, fake and so on. Well, if they were fake, the Ukrainians, as I covered it in another video of mine today, I think it was, according to an article, legit article, the Ukrainians changed their offensive plans a little bit. Well, if those are fake, the leaks, then why do you change the plans? You know what I mean? That means those leaks say something that you don't really like that it was said. Now, what do we have here? We have here something that has been kept kind of secret by the Western media, which is the total or the approximate casualties of this war from the Ukrainian side. They always tell us how many Russians died and how many were wounded and all that, but never how many Ukrainians. It was only one incident when they had a mishap in Brussels. Miss Ursula von der Leyen said that 100,000 Ukrainians perished, blah, blah, blah. And then in an hour, all that was removed from their site and you've never heard about it. It was just, she misspoke. Why, she drank last night too much wine or something? Anyway, let's get to this article that I have here ready to go. Here it is. It comes from initially Business Insider, but it's via Yahoo News. It is from today, April 10th, 2023, from Jake Epstein, if you know what I mean. And this is the title. More than twice as many Russian troops as Ukrainians have been killed in Putin's war, leaked estimates show. Putin's war, huh? All right, if you say so. That's not going to make me consider it Putin war unless you arrest me and punish me, as you probably will. Leaked estimates show more than twice as many Russians and Ukrainians have been killed in the war. Up to 43,000 Russians and 17,500 Ukrainians may have died on the battlefield. So remember, died on the battlefield, US intel reveals. So I'm going to go lower here, and it says one document in particular suggests that Russia has suffered between 199,500 and 223,000 casualties, including between 35,500 and 43,000 soldiers killed. That's what they claimed up here, remember? Right here. Soldiers killed in action, and between 154,000 and 180,000 troops wounded. Now, by contrast, Ukraine has suffered between 124,500 and 131,000 casualties, including between 15,500 and 17,500 soldiers killed. That's what we had up here, correct? And these guys were killed in action, and between 109,000 and 113,500 troops wounded. But both the lower and the upper estimates of each military's war dead pegs Russian deaths at more than 2 times that of Ukraine. Insider was not able to independently verify these figures, and it is unclear when exactly the leaked data was compiled, though many of the documents are from late February and early March. The upper boundary of Russia's death toll, 43,000, is a slightly lower figure than what other officials, Ukrainians, and experts, we love them, have estimated in recent weeks. Britain's defense ministry said in February intelligence update that between 40,000 and 60,000 Russian-light forces which include Moscow's regular military and the mercenaries from the Wagner Group paramilitary organization, have likely been killed. Now, the Center for Strategic and International Studies, meanwhile, assessed that same month that between 60,000 and 70,000 Russian soldiers have died in Ukraine. As for total casualties, Britain's defense ministry said in February that Russia likely suffered up to 200,000. And Victoria Nuland, this person I think should be put in front of a court and trialed for her involvement in the 2014 illegal, bloody coup in Ukraine, which overthrew a legitimate, democratically elected government of Ukraine. A top US diplomat, so she's a diplomat. I don't even want to look at that. I feel like throwing up when I hear about her. Remember, actually they don't know. All right, these are all estimates, and if you can have an estimate between 35,000 and 40,000, okay, and then you jump to 70,000, that means you don't know shit. I mean, I worked with percentages, I worked with this kind of, studies, and to have such a margin of error, that means you don't know. You just say things because how should I put it? There are certain accredited sources and locations where you can find the information. And if you want to find information, let's say you are an investigator, I'm an investigator, right? And I'm investigating this crime, or I want to find this, and I'm making a study on this. What is the goal? Is the thesis is Russians died more than Ukrainians, or what? What happened here? You want to find out what happened, or you want to just support the thesis that you just come up with, and which you might change during your research. You go in and you look at the same data, the same locations where another guy will do, another guy, if they're professionals. If they're not professionals and they're weasels, obviously they just gulp the first piece of information and then gonna vomit it back as they, I think, do. But if you do your job properly, you're gonna go to the exact same things. You will try to get information from the Russian sources, Ukrainian sources. You want to go and find out how do you call those mortuaries. You want to find out the announcement in the newspaper. You want to find out in many ways on different social media outlets, and you try to find from as many angles as you can. So the same is an investigation. You do a criminal research, a background check. You do this kind of check. You do that kind, and then you do all those things. And if another investigator will try to find out what happened, we'll do the same. We'll have the same spots. We'll go to the same spot to find the information. So that's why when the British intelligence tells me this, and then the Americans tell me this, the Ukrainians tell me this, and the Russians tell me this, really. But anyway. These leaks are not necessarily absolute or perfect or ultimate truth over there. It's just what some other people put together, the information they had. They have the same value, I think, as the British intelligence has, the Ukrainian intelligence has, the American intelligence has, the Iranian intelligence has, which is guessing. Why? Because you have this big difference. The error is too big. Fuck, retard here. Okay, but definitely the Russians must have lost more than Ukrainians. The fact that they lost twice as many, I think, I don't want to say sound like I'm happy about it or something, but remember, the attacking force usually loses about 3 times more than the defending one. So I think they're even more efficient than expected, if you know what I mean. So when you hear the Ukrainians saying that, the Russians are decimated, that means you are decimated as well, just to keep the proportion 2 to 1. All right? And you should be at least 3 to 1, given the fact that you defend your country and all that. But you also have to consider the superiority or inferiority of your equipment. But we hear that the Russians are tards and their equipment is of a World War level, and therefore they're just a piece of rusty shit. Therefore, How in the hell they lost only 2-1? That tells me that the other guys are using swords and hatchets to defend their country or something, right? Taras Bulba comes over, if you know who that was. Anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.